Welcome to the Village Vision podcast, where community collaboration and care converge. I'm Dr. Crystal Morrison, and I'm honored to be your host on this incredible journey. As a firm believer in the power of a united village, I'm thrilled to bring you inspiring stories, research, and projects that break down barriers in child and family care. Through heartfelt conversations with experts, advocates, and those with lived experiences, we'll showcase the transformative impact of collective support. So join me on the Village Vision podcast as we explore the remarkable collaborations that lead to better outcomes, foster a sense of community, and inspire action to improve care for ourselves and everyone around us. Meegan's mission in life is to provide information to empower individuals in their communities and make travel easier for all. Welcome, Meegan.
Thank you. Thank you so much for having me.
Of course. I definitely want to talk about your work with AbleEyes and AbleVu, but as with so many people who are doing the type of work that we're doing, there's a personal story, there's a why behind the work that we're doing. So can you share a little bit more about your personal journey with us and how it led to your work today?
Yeah, absolutely. And as you kind of mentioned in the introduction, and there's kind of like two pieces to my story. One is I was a special education teacher for many years. I had a classroom working with students on the autism spectrum. I loved teaching so much. And I loved working with kiddos on the spectrum so much.
Meegan, we were talking about your personal story and your why behind the work that you're doing today. But now I'd like to transition and talk more about that, about what AbleEyes is. And now you've added AbleVu over the past couple of years. And I'd love for you to share with the audience about both of those and the work you're doing.
Yeah, so in 2017, I was an assistant principal. So I had spent several years in the classroom. I was a teacher consultant, and then I was an assistant principal for my last 3 years. And again, I had this dream on my heart for many years. I gave up all stability in my life, flipped my life upside down, gave up my salary, my health benefits for our family, and decided to pursue this dream that I've had for so long. So the dream that I had was I was at a conference in Chicago back many years ago. And at that conference, I saw a virtual tour for the first time. So virtual tours being like where you can click through a space and see it like as if you were in it.
Right.
And I remember like having this super divine moment of like, oh my gosh, like this is it. Like this is the thing that could make life so much easier for families. Like what if every business had a virtual tour? That is like, we work with ice cream shops and coffee shops, and we work with universities and hospitals. For universities and hospitals, it's a laughable amount. For ice cream shops and coffee shops, it might not be in their budget to pay for a virtual tour as much as they want to be accommodating. It just may not be something that they can afford. So when we created AbleVu, we thought, okay, we're going to pull that map feature out of AbleEyes. So now AbleEyes is just a virtual tour photography company that focuses on accessibility. AbleVu is what I like to explain as the Yelp of accessibility information. So, or like a TripAdvisor or something. However, it's not the wild, wild west as Yelp and Google can be, where people are like negatively reviewing and like bashing businesses. So that is not one of our features, thank goodness. We want to really celebrate businesses that are willing to be transparent with their information. We're not rating or judging or critiquing, based on ADA, just like offering a platform for people to share. And so what it is it would be like the business name, business description. If they have virtual tours, that's an option as an accessibility feature or tool.
I think one of the things that I really like and appreciate about all of it is that, coming back to invisible disabilities, we often don't think about the types of resources and accessibility options that might need to be available or could be available for people with invisible disabilities. But I think in AbleVu, you give the people the option to select things like maybe sensory friendly rooms or toys or headphones and different things about like that. So talk about some of the options that are really geared toward people with invisible disabilities that maybe our listeners wouldn't necessarily think of.
Yeah, absolutely. So on our list of accessibility features, currently it's a list of about 30 accessibility features across all disabilities. So it's
Mhm.
not specific to any, but like you said, there are categories like sensory hours, sensory
Mhm.
backpacks. Um, we have a few more, but then we also partner with organizations. The biggest thing that we hear that businesses in particular like
Mhm.
is that it's so affordable. So
Right.
it's $299 a year for a business to be on AbleVu. And so like we again picked a price that would be affordable to literally any business.
Right.
And so for those businesses that, love what we were doing with Able Eyes and like wanted it and they had it on their wish list and they had it in their 2020 budget and then their 21 budget and their
Yeah.
22 budget and like never ended up, being able to like pull the trigger on that.
Um, and in the case of AbleVu, for those of you who are listening, the price point is phenomenal. As a business owner, you can get your subscription, and then you are in control of creating your profile and adding pictures and populating information on the website. So it's very, very easy to use, and that's a real testimony to really also scaling the product and getting it out more broadly into the world also. Fortunately, we're at a great time where accessibility is becoming more prominent. We're seeing things like large retailers offering sensory friendly hours. That's unheard of. You've never heard of that
Mm-hmm.
before. So that's all fantastic, but a call to action. What are the things that you would like to encourage our listeners to do, to reach out to you, to check out?
Yeah. So I would say one for users, and I mean, obviously the most important people, why we do what we do. For users that don't know about AbleView, check it out. Like check it out. There's a place to make suggestions even. So if there are businesses that we don't have, users can make suggestions and then we would reach out to those businesses. But the more people that are using it, obviously, that looks great for businesses too. Businesses don't always know what information people need. And so they don't know everything to put on their profile. So in our new version, people will have the opportunity to contribute to a profile, which would then be emailed to that business and the business can approve it or deny it. So we're excited to get users involved also. Then for the businesses, so for anybody that has basically a brick and mortar business that's open to customers, like open to the public, any type of business, a doctor's office, a restaurant, a hotel, a park, a beach, anything could be on AbleVu. So for businesses to get on and create their profile for just $299. And lastly, testimonials from both businesses and users. Again, that's how we learn is from hearing from people. And so the more testimonials we have, the better we can serve.
Thank you for joining us on this episode of the Village Vision podcast. I hope you found inspiration and valuable insights from our conversation today. If you've enjoyed today's episode, please subscribe, rate, leave a review, and share.